What's going on, guys? Desi here. I'm going to go over the bigger picture on ES and Q and kind of go over what we're kind of having right now on the higher time frame. So I'm going to start off by saying this is a bull market pullback. This is a correction, as you know, it was very much needed, especially since the run we've been having since October. So let's just measure out from the top so far to this wick low. 8.5% on NQ. And this is pretty normal. So if you guys look at when the bull market actually started, I think the bull market starts around 20% from the bottom, right? And the bear market starts 20% below or lower from the top. So this is around 20%, January 30th, 2023. This pullback here on this weekly chart from January to March, let's measure the pullback, right? Wick high, wick low. 9% on NQ here, right? So this is a normal thing that occurs within our bull markets. These pullbacks are good. They're corrections, and this is where you want to start loading stocks, shares, equities, common, whatever. Just make sure you are realizing that this is a good opportunity to start buying. I'm not messing with options yet or leaps or anything like that. I need daily structure for leaps, but go ahead and dabble into your shares. So let's go from, what is this, our July top to our October bottom. 12.8%. And right now we are at 8.5%. So you guys can see 8 to 12% seems something that's very common with these pullbacks. That is why I'm saying don't panic about quote unquote a bear market. I've seen, a lot on Twitter and even on TikTok. They're like, "Oh, bear market's here." No, it's not. It's not here. The point they bring up is, "Oh, World War III can escalate. The Middle East could." I'm not a geopolitical expert. I'm gonna tell you one thing though. If the world goes to war, the last thing you have to worry about is your stocks. I promise you that. That's not gonna be the big worry at that time. So with that being said, we're in that 8.5% territory. The max I see this move go down to is around 12%. So let's go and draw out some sell side that I'm looking at on NQ. I'm looking at this weekly low here from January. This will erase all of our yearly gains on the year. So from the top to here would be around 11.3%. And if they want to really push this, we could also look at this weekly low down here. And this is going to be around 13.5%. Like I said, the more the indices grow, the larger these pullbacks will be. It's natural, right? So these lows are pretty good targets where you can start looking for pretty much should be the absolute bottom. If you push anything under this, that's when it'll get kind of concerning. We have weekly fair value gaps left behind since October, November, December. So that's what I'll be using. Now let's go on the monthly chart. What are we looking at? This is the monthly chart here. Nothing that really stands out to me on this monthly chart. There's nothing that I really like. We do have a monthly FEG here. This would be a high probability gap, but like I said, from the top to bottom there, it would be around 14-15%. So I'm not sure if we get under that area. We do have an order block here as well. I don't know if we get into that area on ES and AQ. So let's go to ES and see what ES is cooking up. So ES is currently in its monthly gap. This looks like it's going to violate, but it's okay if it violates, right? It is okay if it violates. Because if you guys look at the monthly chart from earlier this year, you guys can see this gap right here on NQ and ES, right? The similar gap here, inverse, but the NQ also had a monthly gap, and we got a bounce from right here. So that's fine as long as one indice is tapped into a higher time frame PD rate. Same thing, let's look at ES. How far is it down so far? Right around 6.8%, a little bit stronger than NQ. So keep that in mind. Let's go to the weekly chart. Let's go to the weekly. I measured this move right here. This little pullback on ES was around. So this was on NQ. It was 8% too, I believe. Yeah. So similar pullback. Oops. This move here. Let's go from this high to this high. Similar pullback there, and like I said, we're getting a similar pullback here. Like I said, this isn't. I'm not saying buy the dip with full effect. I'm just saying this is good opportunity to start buying some shares. If you look at, I'm just looking at basing this off of historical data, right? Not even historical, quote unquote. It's not like it's too long ago. It's literally from last year. But these pullbacks have been common around this area, and a lot of people ask me, when are you going to start looking for leap positions on certain stocks? Well, leaps is a whole different case because I don't want to mess with options until the daily structure is a little bit more clear for me, and I'd rather not try to catch a knife on options. On shares, I'm not worried about it, right? Why? Because I'm holding for 5 to 10 years, so it doesn't matter. But in options, I don't want to try to catch a knife on even 6-month or yearly contracts, just because some of those contracts move a little bit, not to my liking, especially with the volume and open interest. Some of them that I like is not that high. So let's go from. This would be a 10% pullback on ES, and I honestly think we're gonna get these lows. I think they're gonna wipe out the entire January gains. So for NQ, it'll be right here, and then we'll start forming some SMT. Keep in mind, in terms of ICT, right? January, February, March, accumulation. April, May is your manipulation leg, and then you're gonna get your distribution leg. We're very early into the year in terms of that cycle, so we're almost done with April. We're getting into May, so this is pretty important stuff to kind of realize where we are at and what we should look for at these areas. Like I said, I would like another 500 points on NQ. That would be great, and I think that would definitely be near the bottom. Like I said, if the World War III escalates and we go lower, well, this is the least of my worries, and what I'm looking for on names. Let's just go to some other names across the board and see what we're looking at. I haven't looked at some of these names in a very long time, such as Nvidia. Nvidia's down around 20%. Let's go Apple. See what Apple's working with. Is this our high from here? 18% on Apple from the yearly high. I don't even want to look at Tesla. I do know Tesla's an absolute dead stock this cycle. So everything around over a little 10%, right? Meta's a little bit stronger than the rest of the names I just went over. So this is a good pullback, guys. It really is, and I think there's gonna be a lot of opportunity here for the upside. We are still in a bull market, right? Like I said, I will, that's just, it's not an opinion. It's just what it is in the market, right? We're not in a quote unquote bear market territory yet. So, this is a good correction and a much needed correction. This is like a coming down to earth type of correction. Getting traders who just joined the bull market out of the market type of correction, and liquidating them. So, don't panic, don't fear. And like I said, I'm not gonna. I'm always buying shares regardless. Every week I have just money going into my accounts, right? But this, like when we have these type of dips, I like to go a little bit a heavier size, and just try to up my size by 1.5x, and then keep buying on these dips. And it's fine if it keeps going lower, like I said, until my targets. But if we get anything underneath that, that's where it gets kind of concerning for me. So far, this is all according to plan. We got our daily sell model is finally playing out very nicely. And the last 7 days have been very volatile, a lot of opportunity, and I do think that opportunity is here to stay when we do reverse back up to the upside as well. I do expect a high resistance move back up when we do end up moving back up, but when that happens, we'll go over it. So that's pretty much all I wanted to kind of just get on here, talk, record, give my thoughts, and then I'll either post this tonight or tomorrow. So whenever you guys see it on the YouTube, yeah. And with that being said, either I'll post it on YouTube, like I said, or just on Discord. I haven't decided. I'll most likely end up posting it on YouTube. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it was somewhat informative, and then hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend.